Well, this guitar I've had for maybe about a year or two, and it's called Sophia. I got this guitar from a pickup maker in Southern California named Ron Ellis. And it was basically a guitar that he had made from parts. I think he cut out the body himself and he got the neck from Fender or something like that and just bolted it together, and it was love at first listen and sight. Luckily, I could get it from him because he's a good friend. And then I'm using Free the Tone cables. I love those guys. And original Vox King wah that Josh Smith told me I needed to go out and get a real Vox wah wah. And I use other wah wahs too. And Vimaram Jan Ray pedal that I use all the time, or my Chula pedal. Polytune, Valcooter, and a Topanga reverb. And the reason why I have this set up like this is what I used on the new record, Hold On. And I'm using a beautiful 633 engineering amplifier, and it's basically based on a Tweed Pro with a single 12, late 50s Tweed Pro design, but definitely modded, and Cliff Brown is an amazing amp engineer, and I love it. And then this guitar here is a Mulan Telly that the beautiful people at Mulan made for me. And it's just a, semi-hollow, thin line Telly style with two humbuckers in it. On the record, I used a traditional Telly, and this guitar, I used a Rudders Telly. And this took care of all the humbucking 335 Les Paul type sounds, because I can only bring two guitars. Well, I usually, with the Chula or the Vimaram, I usually keep the pedal on all the time and just ride my volume knob, and I can go from playing, or like, all the way till my lead tone. Yeah, so that's kind of how I use that pedal. And the Valcoder, or whatever, made by Cal and Brad, I use that as just sort of a swampy kind of thing mainly, and just a volume boost, kind of to hit the front of the amp harder, And I use the Topanga reverb all the time, and that's also, it has a volume knob on there, and I kind of crank that up about maybe almost all the way up, and that'll hit the front of the amp harder too, and fatten up the sound. And that's how I can get sustained with more relative cleaner tone, can't even talk today, more of a cleaner sound. And that's really it. And I use a pedal board when I can bring it out for longer tours. This pedal board that the guys at the pedal show made for me, Daniel and the guys. And that's beautiful, and it has some of the same pedals on it.
What about the pickups on the
Ron Ellis is actually a pickup maker, and he made the pickups in here. And they're basically based on like 52 style, but once again, Ron is a genius. I mean, he made these pickups, and they marry with this guitar really well. Well, this is totally made by Mulan Guitars in Korea. It's two of their pickups. They make the bridges. They make virtually everything on the guitar. And it's definitely done on the new record, all of the humbucker type tones, because I could only bring 2 guitars when we recorded it. It sounds like this, you know, all the sustain kind of. Yeah. And I also used it for sort of like more. I use it for kind of like that New York funky kind of. Well, one of the things was just laying out things on the fretboard, you know, all over, you know. And also something that I realized maybe just a couple weeks ago was like the transition between using a pick and your fingers and trying to get close to the same tone, actually. I didn't even realize that, but, you know, just using a lighter picking attack, like say, like you play with your fingers. You know, and kind of seamlessly going between the two, you know. The funky kind of thing I got from all of those guys, you know, like James Brown, Jimmy Nolan, and Catfish Collins, Bootsy's brother, and guys like that, and Nile Rodgers and stuff. And, you know, I kind of look at all those guys separately, you know, there's like different styles of funk, but some of my main things definitely come from like the James Brown, you know, just simply like. You know, just something simple like that, you know, or you got like more of the Nile Rodgers kind of, you know. You know, kind of that more staccato kind of, you know, signaling in on certain notes, you know, kind of, you know, separating certain notes. When I was younger, I actually played a lot more with my fingers, but now I don't play too much with my fingers. Now I'm just kind of, now, you know, fronting a band, and I just kind of stick with the pick most of the time now, you know, and I'll like, the only time I'll maybe do, every once in a while, maybe I'll hybrid a little bit, but not really much, you know. I've just figured out how to try and get the warmest tone from my pick. You know, just like picking something like. 'Cause I like to slur and be able to kind of, you know, have dynamics and play harder or softer or further up the neck or back by the bridge pickup, you know, just different. I live on the bridge pickup a lot, you know, like most of the time. Before this guitar came along, I play that on the neck pickup quite a bit, but most guitars, I wind up getting right to that bridge pickup. Real bridge pickup kind of guy, you know, because it just, I don't know, there's something about it. Well, you know, I look at it in kind of positions, and I learned a lick a long time ago when I was maybe 12 or 13, and it's like simple blues scale, you know. And I just work kind of from that, you know, just find all the different positions, you know, like playing the same lick, you know, and that's really how I look at it. And I just kind of connect all those different positions together, you know. And when you're playing maybe other kinds of music or playing over like funk grooves and different things where you kind of have to get outside of the, you know, it really comes in handy to be able to reach from different positions. Like, all that really is just different positions. It's just playing the same thing in different positions. And that's sort of the basis in, you know, guys like Robben Ford and Larry Carl and Chris Kane and different people like that really, you know, started doing that, and I got to see them do it live, you know, and that really was kind of the launching pad, you know. It's funny because it seems like my older friends, you know, said like in the 70s and 60s that, you know, that was the thing. I mean, you had to have a vibrato. It was like more than playing anything else, scales or licks or anything. Your vibrato was your signature. And I really kind of feel that way because I'm really kind of based out of like the older school type guitar playing. You know, obviously the English guitar players had a big contribution to vibrato and those type things and really making it sing, you know. And I mostly vibrato using like my ring finger and reinforced by my middle finger, pretty much. But I'll also use my index finger alone too. So obviously I don't play really big strings. I play 10. So, you know, for an example, it's like I'll play like, or, and I'll play it wider for certain things, or I'll play it tighter, you know, like, or whatever, you know, depends on, you know, the mood, I guess. Or if I'm playing the slow blues, I'll play different, you know, or, or, you know, it just depends on the mood. There's one lick that I do that's sort of like just a variation on B.B. King and like Chris Kane, this fantastic guitar player who I got to see a lot. This, it's kind of, you know, a spin off of a B.B. King lick. You know, that's one of the ones I use a lot. And also like, I think you learn the language and then all of these things kind of morph into your own playing, I guess. You kind of learn the language and then kind of just do your own take on it. Pretty much half of my career was backing up other people, you know, like the great Kim Wilson, Charlie Musselwhite, or different people. And I would do that type of thing, but mainly kind of like more of the, you know, that kind of thing, you know. Or, you know, just straight ahead, like even jump swing. I played with Linwood Slim, the great harmonica player. And we would play a lot of jump blues, you know. And then you got your whole, you know, of thing, more jumping, you know, or just many different ways, you know, I would try and accompany people, you know.